Hey, good people.
Welcome to Love Out Loud to Dudes podcast. We have tough conversations about our relationships to help you improve yours.
We're not perfect. We're just sharing our journey in hopes you can avoid some of the hurdles we've had to overcome.
This is a safe space.
Let's improve our relationships together as we love out loud. Working through as we grow through life, Lord. And thank you for being able to connect with them in a way where they hear you through us. And thank you for allowing us to be a vessel to be able to convey that message as we learn a lot of life's lessons along the way. And we look forward to another amazing episode. In your precious son, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Great prayer.
Oh, shucks, thing. The third trimester.
Baby on the way.
That's kind of wild.
Our baby girl is on the way.
That's kind of crazy. Like, can you imagine, flashback to the day you found out we were having a child. Like, we were pregnant to then now.
It actually flew by, honestly.
Very fast.
Yeah. It really is another example of how quickly time moves. Get comfortable. It's also, I would say, exciting because my baby girl on the way, and for us to really grow through this, how we've been able to, first time parents away from our family, and really navigating on our own, with some guidance through phone calls, but like really just hands-on on our own. It's really been a blessing. It's really been great because we're really more than prepared than we thought we were. And I'm just really glad and honored that God chose this time to really bless us with our baby girl.
Me too. That's why I get a love belly action today. Me too. It has been, I don't know, I guess every stage of this, I've just been like, okay, like what's next? What's that next stage gonna look like? I've never had a first trimester. I've never had a second trimester. I've never had a third trimester. So every time I cross over into these new thresholds, it's like I've unlocked a new part of the game. Like
Right.
all the settings change. Like everything has to restart and be completely different. And it is making me tap into a different level of myself to be able to meet this new place. And it's very interesting because like now that I'm getting closer to delivery, which is wild to even say, but now that I'm getting closer to delivery, it felt so far away when my doctor was like, you're at 20 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
20 weeks was, it's like, yay, I'm at 20 weeks. And then right after I was like, oh my gosh, I have just as much time left as I've already did. Like that was a real moment because I felt like I missed the whole summer, but I spent the majority of the summer not feeling well.
Right.
And, definitely not feeling like myself and having like this out of body experience for the first time and just feeling very, I don't want to say alone, because you were definitely there the entire time. I never felt like I was alone. I just felt like I couldn't always articulate exactly how I felt. Mm-hmm. And then you didn't feel it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to be like, hey, I feel nauseous. But it's another thing, we both nauseous,
Right.
Or
Like you said, I just be like, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, like okay, like, well, what can I do? And I'm like, I don't know, like throw up, like, it's just, it was very different to wake up every day with new symptoms or different symptoms or see my body physically changing all the time and then yours not. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that
it changed. I gained a lot of weight.
I mean, yes, besides that. But
that's
like
a lot. Because I've been working hard.
But you didn't have like the body aches, the
Right.
fatigue, just the different things.
Right, the internal thing.
Not to discredit what you experienced at all, because I'm sure that was different for you as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like physically growing
Right.
something inside of you that started off as this big and now it's moving
Right.
and responding
Right.
and kicking and
Right.
doing all of the things is like
Right.
wild. And then me going through that and not losing myself. Mm-hmm. So a big part of being in all this is like, okay, where do I fit in? Because what started to happen is everybody called and was like, how's the baby? How's the baby? How's the baby? How's the baby? Nobody called and was like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. You know, like, when I get on these calls, because I'm like, dang, the baby ain't even got here yet. And it's like, people have forgot about me. And I'm going through my whole finding myself, finding the new version of me, not necessarily finding myself, but I feel like I've unlocked a new version of me, and I'm figuring out what that looks like. And it looks different. It has looked different month after month, because not only am I changing physically in size, which has been a huge adjustment, because I went from this size, lost all of that weight, and now I'm back up to the numbers that I was at when I felt like I was my largest. And that was an adjustment for me to have to make. But now it's like physically changing, mentally changing, emotionally changing, and just becoming this new person that I'll have to be for our daughter, while still working to be a great wife, still doing all of the things to meet you while still meeting me.
Right.
So that's been a big adjustment. And as I'm getting closer to delivery, you're talking to different people about postpartum and different things that they experienced in postpartum. And I guess the number one consensus that I'm getting is that people lost themselves in postpartum, because
The hormones?
not the hormones, yes, but putting everybody else before themselves. So putting the baby first, then putting the household first, then putting your husband first. You know what I'm saying? And then people, they don't get up, get themselves together,
Right.
you know, take care of themselves. They're not doing the hobbies that they enjoy. They kind of lose themselves. And in addition to the hormones making you feel different, like the pregnancy, there's little to nothing you can do about how you physically, hormonally change,
Right.
you know, through time. So even though you could tell yourself all of these things and have all these mantras, what's physically happening with the chemistry within you could be something totally different. So I'm taking in all of the things that I'm learning about what people have experienced in postpartum, and I'm putting together a plan of how to navigate that for myself so that I can, I don't know, like, make it as least amount of traumatic as possible. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, I want to take in the different things that people have learned, that they experienced and that they had to learn, and I want to curate
The best plan of action.
the best plan of action for me, because I've always operated in life as that girl, right? Like, it's always been about me. Like, I'm always main character energy. Like,
And I think that all of that is valid, but at the same time, not valid. Because, no, I'm not saying it like that. What I'm saying is, let's go back a little bit. That's why I make sure that I check on you all the time. Like, I come kiss on you, you know, not like I'm negating looks, but it's like, she not here yet. I know she good. I need to make sure you good. So I ask you, what's on your mind? Like, what you thinking about? Because I don't know if you don't tell me. So I'm not about to be the one that's like, okay, well, she ain't said nothing, so she must be good. I'm not going to assume nothing. I'm going to ask. That's rule number 3, and don't assume. So I'm like, all right, you tell me you're all right. And if I see that you may not be, I'll continue to dig, you know, pick at it until you come to me and tell me, like, get to a point of saying what's really on your mind.
yeah.
And because I've done my research with people too, and it's like, well, most women didn't articulate how they felt or what they were feeling, and a husband did not know. So I want to do my best to be able to know, that way I can help in whatever way possible.
And a lot of that I've experienced, even just being pregnant, right, is there is so much that's happening all the time. And sometimes, even though I understand you care to know, sometimes it feels very it leans more on the complaining side for me, because it's all the time. It's like if you ask somebody all the time, like, how are you feeling? And they like, whew. Like,
but for me, if I'm asking, I want to know. Like if I'm asking often, I want to know, because if not, I would not ask. So I want to know, because I know it's a lot of changes going on, and I can't do anything but comfort you and make it the best on the outside that I could possibly do. So I'm asking because I know things are changing. I don't know how rapid they are changing, but I know they're changing. So I'm asking as often as I can remember to ask, because I want to make sure you're good.
And I tell you, and I really work to tell you the times where things are good as well.
Right.
So it's not like,
I don't care if you complaining. Like that's the thing for me. Like I do not care. You are bearing a child, and I know it's gonna be tough and it's gonna be hard to a certain extent. So to me, if you gotta complain, then complain, because if that way I can find a solution to maybe fix some of the complaints.
understand. I don't even know if it's necessarily for you. Like I'm not saying it to complain to you, because I don't want you to feel like I'm complaining. But sometimes I get tired of saying like the same things over and over again, because it's like my feet swollen, my ass hurt, like my back, it's like at some point I'll be like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but then
It's Tuesday.
if you are doing that, right, like I found a solution for the feet. We got compression socks. It help. Like now I'm about to look for another belly band, something to go for around your back, because the other solutions haven't worked. So you complaining, that means the solutions have not worked. So let me go dive deeper into some more solutions.
And that's why I give you the problems. There is nothing that's physically happening to me that you're not aware of. Trust. We have walked a lot of these symptoms and not even issues, but symptoms and things within this pregnancy down together. Right. So there is not many other things that are happening that you're not aware of.
Right. And if you pregnant or going to be pregnant, one tip that I can give y'all that we found that actually works for nausea has been peppermint Altoids.
100%.
They have helped. The ginger chews did not help.
The ginger chews did nothing for me.
The peppermint Altoids has really come through in the clutch.
Having like 2 or 3 Altoids just in your mouth has helped significantly with my nausea. What do we do for headaches?
For headaches, we do a little bit of water with some lemon juice and some sea salt, and stir it, and then she drink it like a little. It's a little more than a shot worthy of juice, but enough to where she can maybe like a couple swallows, and it really help with headaches too. Get some electrolytes in her body and get rid of the headaches. But yes. Tylenol, we weren't really trying to take Tylenol, so.
And I'm trying to think, what else? Do we have any other hacks that we learned out?
I don't know. If I think of some more, I'll mention it.
All right, cool.
Then back to what I was saying is valid and invalid is because you can take knowledge from someone else's experience, but it's not necessarily mean it's going to be your experience. 100%. Because when you say you've been that girl, right, there is something different in your mental than there is in a lot of people, because you've always been that girl. A lot of people don't see themselves, a lot of women don't see themselves as that. So not taken away from nobody that you've gotten information from, but you are different than most. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm like, it's valid because it has happened to someone, but it may not necessarily mean it's going to happen to you. Just like when people say, well, y'all not going to get any sleep, yes, that may be true, but we may have a baby that sleep through the entire night. Mm-hmm. That's not a possibility that's off the table just because it didn't work for you, Right. The baby, Lux may wake up at 4 a.m. to be fed and go right back to sleep. So it's like, understanding those things is that, yeah, I hear you, but until I'm in an experience in it, then I can say, because my story may be different. Our story may be different. That ain't happened to us,
I mean, I understand 100%. Just like, hearing everybody's birthing stories or the hospital experience, or I get that 100%. But in addition to, there's only so many things I could do to prepare.
Agreed.
Right? So if people are saying like, this is what happened to me and this is how I worked through it, it's not even necessarily planning for that to happen.
Right. You just taking in the...
Right. And it's like, if I get to this point where I feel like that,
You have a
I
answer,
have a solution
right?
to go to. Or something else to think
Agree.
about. So.
Agree. It just but you know me, I'm gonna play the other side because oftentimes stuff that happens to other people don't happen to us. Like we blessed and highly favored. Like I live by that. Like I understand that the reason why my baby girl on the way is for a specific time and place and reason. So I pray every day, like, okay, Lord, you know, like, thank you for blessing us with a healthy baby. Thank you for, like, God knows our needs.
For sure.
So if he knows that we need sleep, I have faith for him to be able to give us some sleep.
100%. And she's already been such a great baby already that I'm super excited for. We've already started sleep training. I don't even know if that's like a thing.
No, for real. I tell her when it's time to go to bed, I go right down to the stomach like, hey, baby girl, like, it's nighttime.
It's nighttime out here.
Yeah, that means it's time to go to bed. And I understand that, you know, she in the womb, so everything is dark to her, but she hear my voice, so, and she listens to me. So I let her know, like, it's nighttime. We go to bed. When it's time to wake up, hey, baby girl, it's time to get up. Like, it's what it is.
So, this is so, I think I'm the first people to ever sleep train.
I mean, and then she come out and it worked. I mean, it may sound crazy loud, but if she come out and it works.
Sleep trained.
The next is potty training. Not for real though. Listen, I got unwavering faith for everything that I ever dreamed of. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Like I believe in God for everything. For everything. Like I really put him first for everything. For everything. Like,
and that's why we don't have a lot of the anxieties and stresses that a lot of people have about, especially every time we tell people
be anxious
like,
for nothing.
100%. Especially when we tell people that like majority of our family lives in Michigan and we live here, they're always like, wow, like, well, what are you gonna do? Like,
take care of our baby.
Where's your community? And I'm like, we'll figure it out. Like, God is always gonna provide. We always gonna
exactly. And if the Lord, like, we understand that it takes a village to raise a child. That's not what we're not saying that it does not, but God's gonna send us our community. He understands what we need. He understands what our baby needs. And the people that are supposed to be there will be there.
Yeah.
I have faith for every single thing.
Yeah.
God wouldn't have blessed us with her at this time if it wasn't time for us to have this baby.
100%. And waited until we moved here, too.
I already told y'all a few episodes ago, more than a few, Lead going on show. Lead going on shows what I kept hearing. And if you want to know what my prayer has been lately, it's that I woke up a few days ago and I said, God really got us in the desert. I said, we moved from Detroit, which was our Egypt, and now we're in the desert on the way to the promised land. It's the revelation I got. I said, we by ourselves. I said, Lord, okay, help me understand how to make this desert trip the 11 days, which was intended, and not the 40 years that it took Israelites because their mindset wasn't proper. So help me get a proper mindset and get to the point of which I'm supposed to be so that I can enter the promised land as soon as possible. And from that moment, I've been working on a very special project.
I'm so excited. It's so lit. I love it. Every time I think about it, I just get so excited. It's so lit. I love it. I cannot wait.
I'm really operating in my gift.
100%.
1,000%.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Because it's been the whole, in its totality, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
All the way around, it's me. And I never been sure of almost anything else.
Mm-hmm. I love to see it come into life. Yeah. Like, I cannot wait till, I don't even know what, I have so many ideas for it that I don't even know what like the finished product, the finished product, because I have so many ideas on how to just maneuver with it and move with it. So I'm just excited to give it life. I feel like it's
With everything.
for sure.
With everything. Like when people used to tell me all the time when I was younger, about 19, 20, and a lot more when I turned 21, was like, oh, you're gonna be a millionaire. Like you got the way your ambition set up, the way your mind set up at this early age. It took me to have 2, 3, 4 kids for this to happen, or it took this to happen, it took this to happen for me to get there. And it was like comforting because those people understood me. But now it's like, now that I do have a kid on the way, I understand what they meant because I'm experiencing it. Yes, I had the ambition then, and I have it even more now because I now have a thought in my head that I don't want to tell my baby girl no to anything. So that has really lit some fire up under me to get things done because I don't want to have to tell her or honestly. Honestly, and I'm gonna put this out here for the world on this date. Like, I really want to be able to take you to Italy for a month with Lux for a month straight. Like, we just toured Italy for a month.
That'll be lit.
Yeah, like
That's a place I want to go.
yeah, I know, and I'm gonna make it happen.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna make it happen.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna make it happen.
I love Lux Summer too. She's such a mood. She's such a good time already. And now she kicking. Like, she's such a good time. That's why she's really like a completed part of our puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because she's not even physically
Right.
like outside of my belly yet here, but she already just fits in so well.
That's why, like, for me, like I thank God so much because God, if no one else sees us, God sees us. He knows who we are. He knows all of the good deeds that we do on a regular basis that don't get talked about, don't get brought up, don't get recorded, don't ever mention, don't ever leave our household, right? And for him to bless us with a baby girl, like, I say this to people often, if all the good I've ever done in this world is to be able to be that baby girl, that little girl's father, then it was worth it for me. Every single thing I've ever been through was worth it. Every single thing. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be her father. I truly am. That's why when we had the baby shower, when everybody kept saying, Joe, on that game, Joe, and my dad was
The
like...
game was asking, it was basically the baby shower game that asked, like, who was going to be the parent that
does
changes the
more
most
X, Y,
diapers,
Z,
or
right.
who's going to be the parent that makes the most bottles. That was the game.
And a lot of the answers were me. And my dad looked over and was like, what they say, you want to change the most diapers, it's going to be you? I said, yeah. He chuckled, ha, ha, ha. Man, that's crazy. But for me, it's not. Like, I'm okay with doing it all. I'm okay with doing it all. Like, that's my daughter, you know? That's mine. I'm okay with doing it all. What else you need?
And that's why I made the post that I made the other day on Facebook. And the post really said that it was basically saying that I didn't have the relationship that I wanted to have with my dad. Mm-hmm. And I wanted my dad to be there for my different events. And when I watched, or just different people that I was friends with, like a lot of my best friends were raised by their dad without a mom. So I watched the love that their dad had for them. And I, yearned for that love from my dad to have that type of relationship.
And that was really God looking out for you too, because he knew your dad didn't possess that, so he gave you
100%. 100%. And I can see that now. Mm-hmm. Of course, at 15, I was not aware. I appreciated the relationship, but I was not aware of why that relationship was there.
You got a few different friends that were just raised by the
100%. And I just watched the things that their dads did for us. Because once we became friends, their dad was like, oh, well,
you
now,
and my daughter too, right?
Now it's you and Monty.
Right.
Like, now I got to figure out how to get you and Monty back to school or back to wherever y'all going, or out skating or to the movies or to the mall or yeah, Monty could spend a night. Yeah, Monty could stay in my house without me being here. You know, like it was those things that I look back on now, like, wow, that was really filling in the gap. That's why I tell people all the time that a lot of times we weren't really missing the things that we thought we were missing. You were lacking nothing.
You lack nothing.
You just weren't getting it from where you thought you should be getting it from.
To get it from.
Yes. But you weren't lacking.
Oh.
And it really hit me like a ton of bricks when one of my friends that I grew up with.
I will supply all your needs.
100%. One of my friends that I grew up with, her dad passed. And when he passed, it really affected me because
It's like you lost a father too.
100%. 100%. It really hurt me a lot. I'm sure it was not to the level of which it was for her, but it really affected me a lot because I knew the love that he had for me.
Did you go to the funeral?
I actually wasn't, I didn't know about it until afterward. So when I found out was on Facebook, but it was weeks after the service, so I didn't know about it. But it just, I don't know, it just no lack. That's basically what I was getting to. But going back to the story of my dad, I just wanted that relationship with him. So by, when it came time for prom, I'm hitting my dad up about coming to prom. I'm reminding him. Now, mind you, it's not like my dad lived across the country.
Right.
He lived like 15 minutes away, 15 to 25 minutes away from wherever we were at. So not far at all. I'm reminding him just because I want him to be there, not because I want him to buy me something or do something or whatever. And he didn't come. And I remember sitting there on my prom day, like I'm telling my mom, because I'm up, I'm getting all my stuff done, get my hair done, makeup. I'm calling, he not answering. I'm getting dressed. I'm like, Mom, can you try to call my dad? Like, I hope he okay. Like all these thoughts are running through my head because I'm like, no way. You're not gonna be here for this day. I'm telling you, I want you to be here for. And he didn't come. And I remember my mom coming into the room to like have the conversation with me that he's not going to be there, and me having to like process that, deal with that, still come downstairs because there's 50 people waiting in my mom's kitchen to take pictures of me going to prom. And I still have to make this a memorable night for myself and not make it traumatic for me. So I have to put all this in the back of my head. So after experiencing that, I made myself a promise that day that whomever I was at prom making this promise, because I wasn't eating, the food was terrible, but making myself this promise that whoever I marry, and especially the person that I have a child with, they have to be all of those things. Because the last thing I'm gonna do is get married and have a child with somebody who is willing to not show up for my child like that. That's like a
non-negotiable.
I don't even know how to put that high enough because I know what that felt like to me.
Right.
So it was very important for me to find somebody who not only showed up for me, right, in all the ways that you show up for me and all the ways that you congratulate me. Like I said before, you're always a face in the crowd smiling back. Even if I don't think I've done a great job or whatever, you're going to smile first. And then you're going to give me some constructive criticism. But you're always a face I can count on in the crowd smiling back. And it's not even that I want you to come or do something for me or buy something for me. But it's like when I need that support, I know you are going to be there. So it's like once you gave that to me, then I'm like, okay, now we're having a child and I'm watching you present that again for her. And I just didn't realize how much that was healing a part of me that always felt like, dang, like why he didn't do this or why he didn't, show up or do that. I've processed them and dealt with them. But now it's like, I have that with you. And now I get to watch my daughter that not be her experience anymore. So
you did a great job by picking me, honestly. Like, I meant like that. Yeah, what I meant is that because
respectfully.
Yeah, like you did not want to do that promise you made. You kept that promise.
For sure.
That's what I mean. Like, congratulations. Like
100%. that's where when people ask me like, what are some of the things that I was looking for, you know, in a husband or different things like that, it was really making sure that I didn't have other things. So that kind of led me into what into you was that I was like, well, you can't be this and you can't be that and you can't have that, and that's a deal breaker for me. So it's like once you get all them out the way, then it's like boom, all right, like I can work with this. But
do more than that, you know. Like I ain't just no settle now. It's
I know that.
I know that.
Say all they say with no settle.
It's for the people in the back, you know.
Okay, well, definitely want no settle.
So I got 2 things I want to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Humbly. Humbly. That's what I'm talking about. Pop your
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
You funny than what?
and I'm honored to be able to do this. I truly am. Like when God told me like you were my assignment, it felt strange at first
Why strange?
because of all our history.
For sure.
And I'm like, what? Like I gotta go back, you know? So from there to me understanding all of the ways in which I have like come through and help you grow and navigate life, it really put things in perspective because like how we talked about before, you was working on your career, I was working on navigating with people. Me not working on my career and navigating with people has prepared me to be the person I am today to be able to help you get further in life.
100%.
So for that, I'm grateful because it wasn't a waste of energy for me because at one point in my life, I felt like all I would ever be was a caregiver for my grandparents. And I felt like my life was wasting. And for my granddad to be gone now, and now I'm able to live life with you and all of the nurturing and the loving that I gave to my grandfather and even his wife, it has now paid off into this season in my life. And for that, I'm grateful. My next statement is how you brought up prom with your dad. I want to know how you forgave him. Because a lot of the audience don't know, but my father didn't show up to our wedding. And I'm getting dressed, and my brother is 5 years younger than me, comes into the dressing room like, hey, Dad not here. I called him twice, I texted him 3 times, he ain't respond to nothing. My brother, I never saw my little brother like this, or at this level until that moment. Because before he came to me, he had already tried to make stuff happen.
Times.
Yes, because he understood how important it was for his big brother to have our dad at the wedding. And for him to come to me and say, I've done all these different things and he ain't answered, my first thought, like yours, was, I hope my dad all right. Because my dad, diabetic, multiple seizures, like high blood pressure, a whole bunch of stuff, and he stayed by himself. So my first thought was like, I hope my dad all right, because why would he miss this? And then come to find out, he just didn't come because of his own personal selfish reasons. And I forgave him because I know who my dad is. And I know like that's another moment that he's going to have to live with that he did not show up for. And that's going to be on him, not me. And I forgave him because of that, because I had a fantastic time. I wasn't letting him stop no show. He just missed out on a great opportunity to see what love truly looked like. Awesome time. So I let it go, but you held on to it because you felt as though like he didn't give a reasonable explanation, which he didn't, but I never expected my dad to do those things, so I never expected it from him. So how did you forgive your father for not showing up to prom? And can you use that same theory to forgive my dad for not showing up to the wedding?
Well, you gotta hear the theory first. So, at the time, I didn't talk to my dad for quite a while. After that, my mom
For 2 years?
No, well, I'm gonna give you the full scope of it.
Okay.
So my mom actually hit him up to come to graduation.
Okay, so graduation like a month, so
He came to graduation.
okay.
And after that, we went a while without communicating. Now, this is 2011 me, right? I wasn't gung-ho about jumping down forgiveness for nobody, especially since you can't even give me a reason. And I think that's what really aggravates me is when people just be like, well, I just didn't do it. Why? You know, I really want the why of it. I don't care. I don't even care if it's a bad why or if it's a selfish why or if it's like, well, I didn't want to come because I didn't have nothing to wear, which he's used a lot of times, or whatever the reason, right? Even if it's a selfish why, I want the why of it. And because he couldn't give me the why of it, I was okay with us not speaking for a while because I felt like I don't ask you for much, you know? Not monetarily, not emotionally, not spiritually, not fighting, you know, in no way do I ask you for much. So it's just to show up, just to come, for 30 minutes of your time. Cause it's not like my dad has worked and had retired or for any, like had a standard 9 to 5 all of this time that he'd been clocking into. So it's not like, oh, I got to fit it around his crazy work schedule or all of these things that.
Both our dads had all the time in the world.
All the time, you had all the time in the world. So it's like for me to communicate with somebody who I see, right? Because I'm on the outside looking in. Now he could say he didn't have all the time in the world. That's his perspective. But for me on the outside looking in, it seems to be that you have all the time in the world, right?
Or gracefully enough time
to give me 30 minutes,
right?
An hour driving back and forth, an hour, right? So it's like, okay, you didn't come to my cheer competitions, which my friends' dads did. One, because their kids were there, but two, they were there as well, you know, with my colors on too, cheering for me. So, you know, you didn't come to my competitions. I was on every sport. I ran track. I was on cross country. I was a cheerleader, on competitive and sideline. I did flag football. Like there were ample dance team. It were
opportunities.
Opportunities. I was in plays for you to just come and sit and be with me, and you didn't do that. So it's like to come up with another reason or excuse. It was kind of like I finally got to the point of being fed up, and I think as a kid too, coming up until this point, I didn't see my dad for the person that he is. I saw him for the person that I wanted him to be. So every time he didn't show up, I was like, oh, it's okay. Like he didn't make it, but you know, that's all right. You know, like he'll make the next one. Like I will always make all of these excuses for him. I would always create these scenarios as to why he couldn't make it so I could forgive him. So that we could have whatever relationship we were able to have. So I created this
illusion,
basically, of just who I wanted him to be and just the different things that I walked through. And it got to the point where I think that was like one of the straws that broke the camel's back, where I was like, wait a minute. Like, why would you do that to me? And why do you consistently keep doing that to me? Like at some point, what am I doing that make you think this is okay?
Right.
Like why do you keep treating me this way?
It wasn't nothing that you was doing though.
I mean, I understand that now, but in hindsight, the first thing I did was turn on myself. Like, well, dang, like why do he feel okay with doing this, that, and the third? And why does he feel okay with
like my dad mindset is y'all grown. And I had to hit him with yeah, but I ain't never been this age before. Yeah, that still don't make you not my father. Like, yeah, we still need you. Like, it's a lot of stuff you can still teach us. Just give us advice on anything. Like, you just check out because you like, y'all grown. But then get mad in the next breath, like, well, y'all ain't look out for me for Father's Day. How can you say that when we grown? You don't look out for us like no time
No
throughout
other
the
day.
year. And you expect because you played a part in birthing us, bringing us into this world that we supposed to just, I understand, honor you by not, you feel me, by loving you and not telling you how I really feel about things is what you have done to me because of me understanding who you are. Because I understand that you're not going to take accountability. But how do you feel like you should get a Best Father of the Year award or something like that for Father's Day when he gave me a couple dollars and said, "Oh, never say I ain't done nothing for you." Ha 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 ha.
With a straight face.
Yeah, but like he chuckled, but we knew him and I both knew that's what he meant. And that's why I responded like, yeah, all right. Like, who are you talking to? Like I don't, as much as I do for you, But
when you ask, how did I get over it? I want to make sure I cover that part. When you ask, how did I get over it? With time, I was able to see like, this is who he is, right? So as I got older, I would still do things because I knew he needed things, right? And I've always been that person. And that's why I speak to a couple episodes ago with just my heart, right? Like, even if we're not on the best of terms or you've done some things to me, if I love you, I'm gonna make sure you're good. Like, I'm gonna cover you on all ends. And it wasn't until I got older and I started having conversations with my brothers, and they were like, "Oh, so you had the same relationship that we had?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I started to right, and because if you don't know, then you feel like it's only happening to you, right? You're like, well, everybody got a better relationship with you than I do,
right.
And it wasn't until I got older and I started to branch off and have better relationships with them that I got a different understanding of this is just who you are. And then from that point, I had to make the decision of what type of relationship I want to have with you.
Right.
Because now I understand you'll never be able to give me what it is that I want from you. And for me to just keep expecting that would just be insanity because you have never been able to do it. Not one single time.
And the thought just crossed my mind too with people like that. I think more so it's not you, it's them. And I believe it's more so shame. Because those people, when they don't like to come to like public settings, it's because they don't like the way that they appear to be in front of other people. And for them to not actually have to take accountability for themselves and change themselves, they rather stay in their own bubble, in their own world, in which they can continue to be that person that they are choosing to be every single day. 100%.
And I think the biggest thing that has helped from just me realizing we're never going to have that relationship, and I made peace, as much peace as I can make with that, right? Like, just being like, okay, this is who this person is. I can stop expecting them to be this. They're never going to be that. How can I have a relationship with them that works for me where I'm not constantly setting myself up to be offended by the ways in which they are, right? So I got peace with that, and I've learned how to live with that and be okay no matter what happens. And it wasn't until I got a better relationship with my brothers and I expressed to my brothers what that relationship meant to me. And my brothers were like, "Oh, he been doing what?" Like they understood that it was happening to them, but it didn't affect them emotionally the way that it affected me. Like, because they were just like, "Oh, okay, whatever. Like, we're gonna keep on pushing. We call you. We do this, that, and the third, whatever." But when they learned how it affected me, then they were like, "Okay." And it's not even that they told me that they were gonna do these things, but as I'm watching the different events come up in my life, I used to calm my dad down to make sure I'm picking him up, getting him a haircut, figuring out something I'm doing the whole shebang so you can show up for me.
With no excuses.
With no excuses. And then you still might not go, right? And now it's like I can call my dad, invite him somewhere, and I could call my brothers and tell them what that means to me for him to be there. And I don't have to make any more calls.
Have you really taken in how much your life has changed?
Yes, I'm about to cry. Don't be making me cry here because I don't be crying. I don't be crying like that. I don't be crying doing all that.
And while you saying that, I just really thought about how important my dad is to my sister, and how much my sister really need my dad.
100%. 100%.
And he don't even understand the magnitude in which she really needs
And
him.
my dad didn't either. And it's like, and I don't even know if he still does.
Right.
I don't even know if he still does, but it's at the point where my brothers are not gonna let it up.
Right.
So it's like, I know, because I know my dad, that's not an easy task for them.
And I try with my dad, with my brother and my sister. He just hasn't gotten to that point in which he's ready to do the things necessary. Cause like how your brothers advocated for you, I've advocated for both my siblings. And my dad just haven't got to the point. And I even went on the other side and taught my brother, like, hey, this is how you got to have a relationship with him, so he don't affect you or offend you the way in which you used to be offended, because I'm trying to help them see him for who he truly is and not who they expect him to be. And they haven't got on that side to understanding that either. And he ain't got to the side of understanding who he needs to be for them.
But it's like, even, and I totally get what you're saying. I feel like there's different in relationship, right?
Right.
There's physically being there.
Right.
And then there's emotionally
Right.
being
He
there.
ain't got neither one.
We're not emotionally there, right? But now he's physically present. To me, that's such a, and it's just, I mean, it could be like the little kid in me, right? Just like so excited that finally this idea of my dad and what I had in mind is physically present.
Right.
Like I could look over and see him after so many years of not seeing him, but he's physically there.
That's why the wedding photo with him holding the phone like this in there, that's my favorite picture, because I know when he's gone, it's gonna mean so much to you, because him not being there for all the other times that, like, our reunion, he was there. And like one of the main photos, he's in it holding his phone, taking a picture of our moment.
And since then, these monumental moments that we've had,
he showed up.
He's been there for it. And I have to account you for some of it, and then my brothers for some of it as well, because I
done went and holler at him
100% and 100%, and it's like, why do it take 17 people to holler at you?
When I went to him and said, I want to marry Money, like, he like, oh, great to have you as a son-in-law, happy. And I'm like, okay, so now because you understand who I am, so now when I come to you the way I might come to you, we ain't gonna have no issues, because you got to hear me for me, because this is my role now, like, as to protect your daughter and take care of your daughter, and your daughter needs you, so you got to hear from me.
100%. Now it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just different pressure, because now I got all these people on his head about me. He's like, all right, I'm going to have to figure something out, because now I actually have to go. It's not just money. And I don't want to, I don't know, I guess this is the savior in me as well, because I do have great memories with my dad. Like, as long as I met him on his terms, we have great memories together. And part of this is just the little kid in me making the best of all the moments. Because when I tell some people, they like, y'all did what? Like,
but it's like, it's the life of what you grew up. Like I tell people all the time, like, my dad used to take us to the playscape at Belle Isle. He wasn't really watching us. I was watching Dewan and Danielle, and he was out there with a lady dressed up in a costume taking $5 Polaroid pictures. He out there hustling, making money, which I'm grateful to be able to see that, because it transformed my mind at an early age. But he wasn't out there. This wasn't all the time, but he, for the most part, he was out there taking pictures. He'd come check on us here and there, but I would make sure my siblings was good, because that was my job. I'm the oldest. So but he did things for us. Like he was present most times, but even when he stopped being present often, he still was providing financially for us. And then it got to a point to where we got older and started becoming adults, and things started to change. And like him coming to the baby shower, he like, the reason I came because I ain't show up to the wedding. And it's like he gotta hope that we have a vow renewal in which he's still here to be able to show up for that.
Or invited. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm getting over it.
Yeah, but it's like I've been contemplating having like a 5-year vow renewal just because of all the people that know they should have been there that wasn't there, specifically my father. And to really, because planning our wedding in 30 days, which it was great, but I want to give you a better wedding. Like, that's a goal of mine. Like, I do. Like, just a lot of things that I got written down that I got to execute on. And it's going to come to pass. Like, I don't like, the reason why I don't say things is because I don't want to be like my mom, who used to say stuff and then had to change it, or it didn't happen, and I got my hopes up and then got let down. So for me, I don't like saying nothing until it's done.
You mean something?
Because I know what it felt like being a child when somebody said, oh, yeah, we gonna go to the arcade, or we gonna go to the park, or we gonna do this, I'm gonna get y'all this. And
they don't do none of it.
Absolutely none of it. Because
0%
something came up. And it's like, I understand stuff came up, but I'm like, all right, at this point, stop telling us.
For sure. Just surprise me.
Let everything from this moment forward be a surprise.
Please.
I'm happy with surprises.
Yeah. 100%.
It's grace, it's grace, it's understanding that people did the best they knew how to do in the way in which they knew how to do it. It is understanding that how important having parents in your life is. Because our parents had parents, or in some cases lack of parents. And it really showed me that God blesses you with the seed, and the seed he blessed you with is for a specific reason and a specific purpose. And you need to do right by that. And no matter how much it takes, or whatever it takes. And that's why I think marriage is so important. And that's why I think that the purpose of family was to be married first and then have a kid. Because marriage will teach you how to navigate through problems. It will also teach you how to communicate. It will also teach you how to understand.
Self-reflect.
Yes, it will teach you for sure self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
It will also teach you how.
Discipline.
Yes, all of the things in which you need to, one, stay
Honor,
together.
Integrity.
Yes, get over problems that you have,
Yes.
and stay together, and be there for that child. Because all of those things in what you learn through marriage, you can be able to teach your child or children. Because they're going to need all of those things to be for you, in which scripture say, train up a child in the way it should go. And that's the way they should go, is with all of those principles in life. And when you do those things, you create a better human being for the world, in which they can then have seed and multiply, be fruitful, and be able to continue on the legacy and the generation after generation of good seed and good soil.
Yes. And that's why I'm so grateful, just as just what we recap here on the pod, but as I just watch things in life unravel and unfold, and I just see how different parts of me that was very angry or frustrated or disappointed or let down or just hurt as a young girl be healed and made whole for a lot of these things. And I feel like it was nothing but a blessing to get a baby girl, because now it's like I don't have those same things that I went through lingering on me. She's going to have a totally different experience than what I had. And this is what I consider like breaking the curse.
Yes.
Because not only am I having her with these not having her with these preconceived notions in my head, like, oh, this might happen, these people might do this, that, and the third. But now I see it from a totally different lens of God's grace and how he brought me through that at this point. And now from her life beginning, it's a totally different story.
Because you don't have the anxiety. You don't have like the need for things in which you had.
The lack.
Yeah, you don't have
the feeling of lack.
Yeah, like all of those things in which you thought you were ready to have a kid, then you were not. And that's why, like, I understand that God, when they say God's always on time, he really truly is. Because in order for you to bear this child, you have to heal your inner child.
100%.
And also be the mother
that she needs me to be.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And those qualities you have to work on to possess them so you can be that. And so did I. Like, I understood then that I had to be a better man so that I can lead in more ways in which I have been.
100%. 100%. That's why it's a blessing.
Yes. That's why really I was so
self-reflect.
intentional about her name. Because I wanted a boy. Because what man don't want a boy, you know? But when I read that paper and it said it's a girl.
You could not wait to read that paper, okay? The day we found out that we could find out, okay? Well, we was actually sitting here, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just casually like, today's the day we can look on there and see it. Joe was like, we can look on there now. I was like,
and I went on there immediately.
I was like, yeah,
what I'm away for.
We can look.
I said I wanted to wait. I said I wanted to wait, and then I changed my mind. I got the right to change my mind.
So. Wait, and 5 seconds later, he was like, well, actually, where's the paper? Like, I want to know.
And then I told her, do you want to know? You don't want to know? That's fine, but I'm going to know.
He wanted her out of the kitchen like, wow.
I ain't do all that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's what she heard because she didn't know. She felt as though I was doing the most, but I wasn't. I wasn't. Then she's like, so were we right when we thought it was? Don't ask me all that. You want to know.
Like, wow, that's great. Like, that's all you kept saying. Like, so what do you mean? Like, you could have just kept it to yourself.
When I found out it was a girl, I was happy because I understood that this black girl needed a present black father to be all she's supposed to be in this world. And I was honored to be able to be her father. So for that, I'm grateful. Do I want a boy in the future? Yes. I'm still going to put that out there. Yes. Yes, I do. But for right now, I'm grateful with my baby girl, you know, like, and I know she's going to be everything. People like, she's so smart. Yes, because we took the time to actually educate her. We took the time to not just let her be raised by a TV screen or iPad. We really took the time to learn, teach her, nurture her, and love her.
And pour into her. Like,
yes.
I have so many things to teach her and show her and just enlighten her too.
Yep.
So I'm so excited.
And for the record, we 30 weeks.
What's today?
Today is November
31.
18th, I think.
We are 30 weeks.
30 weeks. We got 10 more to go. And for the record, y'all ain't gonna see looks. Y'all ain't even gonna see her. But go ahead, throw that on out there right now. No, y'all can't see her. No.
So dramatic. So, yeah, we're third trimester. We are closing into the last little set of this.
The home stretch.
A quarter left, which is so wild because when we first found out, I felt like it was so far away. And now it's like...
Well, we found out like 14 weeks, 13 weeks. Or 10.
Like
4, 8, 12.
10. And then we had to wait until like 13.
Oh, okay.
Like 9 or something. Then we had to wait till like 13. So, yeah, I feel like now we're just in the final stretch. We are we're almost done with the nursery. So we've got like all the major things. So now we're just doing detail work for the nursery, and we finally unpacked all of the baby shower gifts. And thank you all so much. Y'all have showed up for Lux in ways my heart is full.
We really appreciate everything.
My heart is full.
Each time, I'm sorry if I have not sent you guys a picture of your guys' items that you have sent, but every time something come in the mail, I rush to put it together.
He just opened it and put it up. And I'll be like, Joe, did something come? He's like, oh yeah, it's already put up.
I was just so excited.
And everybody called me.
Yeah.
They be like, hey, so did you get the such and such?
Yes,
I'm like,
we got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's here
We got
somewhere.
it.
It's just been put up already. But he just puts it together, throw away the boxes. I have no idea until I go in there.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just excited.
And discover that it's in there. And people want pictures is what I've learned. Like people, because we're not in Michigan, we didn't have like a standard baby shower where you open all the things
Right.
in front of them. Everything is being shipped. So everybody wants pictures of their items once they get here, and I have to go find their items because I don't know where they are because somebody put them up.
I just was saving all the gift receipts. That's all. Stacking them up.
So we are reaching the final point. We're done with the nursery. We washed all her clothes and have all her things together. Lux has all of her things at this point that I think she's going to need.
Yeah.
And now we just have to pack some hospital bags and meal prep and get through Thanksgiving and Christmas and
The new year.
and the new year. And she'll be here shortly.
Yep.
So we're super excited. We're super grateful for all of you who have been praying with and for us for a healthy, smooth, safe delivery for me and for her. And we're really grateful.
No C-section. This has been fun, guys.
Yeah.
We love y'all. And until next time.
We love y'all. Peace.